All right, let's see what the fuck this guy has to say.
A lot of people are very, very angry today about this clip. Oh my god. When asked if
Okay, for the record, if he's covering Hassan, everyone's always angry at him. He's saying some stupid shit, but it's always somewhat based. It's like an anchor that stops your ship, but you gotta, like, avoid hitting the shore from fucking dying. So you jerk it. Some guys fall off and they die. You get the fucking life-saving shit to get him out the fucking water. And then you cut back to the fucking captain. You find out he did the best he could. And then the entire ship was built in fucking Uganda or some shit. And the entire thing was tariffed and sanctioned to shit. And it's made out of half sticks and half metal. So for the most part, he's trying to probably talk shit about a lot of rich elite people that if he talks too much shit about, he's probably gonna get fucking assassinated. We only know this because the last guy got assassinated, and they both talk about politics but don't directly involve themselves, to get you a little bit idea of who's fucking snapping whose neck and shooting who. I promise you this shit's gonna be so. It's Gavin Newsom. Look, Gavin Newsom, the the Charlie Kirk lover that only loved Charlie Kirk because he knew if he was too in with the leftists, he would have to argue with black people all day. So he had to go with the white people in the liberal state of California so he could stay loyal to all the farmers in the California rural areas, which are majority white. So politics, in a nutshell, you got like one dude on the left talking shit, maybe nepotist connected, maybe. I don't want to say anything because I could be next. But these people I overwhelmingly have analyzed as completely stupid, right? Leftists, right-wingers, all of them. You know why? Because they're still in America and they're not. We have very, very careful amendments. The first one protects the second. The second one never protects shit. So we're going to have to look into this very carefully, all right? In the Bible, if you're a biblical person, right? Sword. We got to cut motherfuckers. In a metaphorical sense. Don't arrest me. This guy's probably going to talk shit. Prove the fact that all these Republicans run defense just for the sake of defense. And then turn it all around to prove they're just trying to do this for their fucking fan base. And I've seen this plenty of times when I had to upload a video and I didn't know what the fuck to talk about. And I just went with the trend. So this human behavior is about to pop the fuck off.
vote for Gavin Newsom or J.D. Vance for president, Hassan said that he would vote third party. This proves Hassan doesn't care about any marginalized groups he pretends.
None of you care about marginalized groups. You guys are like killing white people and protesting, and they've been deporting and killing Mexicans, Guatemalans, Venezuelans, and black people en masse, and they don't give a shit. You have black people in the hood giving a fuck for the first time in like 100 years because they finally have a reason to care about the Latinos who said the N-word to them when they're talking about the color black instead of the race. It's the entire dynamic of racial relations is so fractured in this country. You're lucky to even be acknowledged is a statement by someone who genuinely likes black and brown people. That's how outcasted the opinion of people of color are. This entire dynamic of caring about marginalized people is fucking hilarious because that's what your job is supposed to be in a patriotic American democratic society, a land of immigrants. So the entire dynamic of what exactly is he does not care about marginalized groups, you should probably conclude in your head, congratulations, welcome. Right? Because nobody cares about marginalized groups. That's why those groups have no one to speak out for them. That's why when we argue and we go out and we start to fight and infight, a lot of these people who infight are usually on the same side, but their optics are that you sound like the enemy. And then when the enemy shows up, it's like a polar bear and human beings with compassion and empathy trying to survive the onslaught of just rich bourgeoisie billionaires who attack them consistently on the basis of that might be food. Marginalized groups, no one cares about. You're lucky to even say the word marginalized groups without a Republican trying to tokenize victimhood of black and brown people so that they can say, we don't care either, but at least we say it. And then they just openly try to pretend like they give a fuck. This guy, Asmongold, calls them animals. He calls them uncivil. He calls them third world. And this guy advocated for shooting protesters, right? This guy's like the purest definition of what you would call an imbecile. An absolute imbecile.
To support. All he cares about is taking money from them so he can buy more outfits for his stream.
Thank you. Immediately. Outfits, clothes. He's like, oh, millionaires for clothes, dude. Fucking.
Why do you give this? What is this? Like, this is a tiny little water bottle. Okay, let's watch it.
For him.
Disappointed in
Who
Gavin
do you vote
Newsom.
for, J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom?
Well, I'd have to vote for Gavin Newsom,
Me
of
too.
course, 100%.
I wouldn't blink.
There's no
What
doubt.
about you, Hassan?
I'd probably vote third party.
You would?
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point, it doesn't even matter. Like, because My policy on this is the same as like my refusal to endorse Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Okay, so refusal to endorse Kamala Harris is based, right? So, because like she probably would shoot all the minorities for white people. But to be fair, the concept of voting third party, because there's no point, I feel like it would have been a bigger statement to say I wouldn't vote at all as a big. But voting third party is like, what are you voting, Bernie? The new Bernie. The fuck is he gonna do? Talk to rural area people that are white so he can ignore black people in the hood? It's like, no, it's third party shit, dude. It's the liberal shithole where you dump the liberals and you don't want to talk to them anymore. It's like you leave them over there wherever they come from. It's like deporting a white person. You deport the white people and the black guys like that you don't know what to do with because they're right, but they're not like charismatic in the sense of being racist enough. It's like it's welcome to third party. I try to join and you know what they say? You're not welcome. Why? There's no one there to tell me I was. Third party is pretty much a party of like 1% of the population that eventually capitulates, and their entire audience of voters just go the other way. He pretty much said he's gonna vote so he can get the sticker. That's about it. The thing I hate about this is that I would vote for probably JD Vance, because if I had to choose between JD Vance and this other moron, Gavin Newsom might kill all the black people. The funding in California is shit for the schooling, and he talked to like Charlie Kirk and they seem pretty cool. So I think they have a pretty inline vision on what to do with people of color in California, which is just barely address them. I don't think a question of which Republican you would vote for and going third route is smart at all. I think it's just trying to play politics really to show he's loyal. I think that's pathetic. I think JD Vance would have been a better choice because JD Vance looks like a straight Nazi. Like if you put the Nazi hat on him and shit like that, you put the suit on it, totally would kill it. Gavin, not so much. Not so much. He looks like royalty monarchy that got dethroned, and we have to like shoot his family because the next one up can be an accidental heir to the throne, and we have to like watch out because they're like having sex with like noblemen, and then the noblemen have like huge trade ships and destroyers, and it's like Pepsi with their navy ships. He calls in Pepsi, he calls in Coca-Cola, he calls in like all his backup corporations. You got like the vineyard people with the grapes and the wine just ready to shoot it out with poor Mexicans and the fucking Guatemalans, Venezuelans. And he's just really happy because the majority of white population comes in California. So he knows he has just nonstop support until he's kicked out. I do think his only optic he has is that Gavin Newsom himself is just such a TV person. Like he's a TV personality and he bitches Trump a lot, which duh, that's funny. But JD Vance is like fucking insane. And those weren't even the options, were they? It was like fucking, what was it? Gavin Newsom or JD Vance? Fuck, the other one was a fucking Democrat. I'm fucking traitor as fuck. All right, I'd vote Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom is a great guy. I just thank you, Gavin. I'm glad our schools are funded equally. Fuck a fucking asshole. All right. When you start to look at exactly what a Democrat is in California, you really got to understand how many white people are there. If you really want to understand politics, because I went JD Vance, I grew up in California. Gavin Newsom tells me Hell's Angels are going to run the streets as brown shirts, right? So I'm not really hyped about this, but I do understand exactly why or what this person is doing, right? So Gavin Newsom for sure. Mainly because we can mock him, his friend's dead. It's fucked up. Oh, shit. In case he talks shit about black or brown people, you know, you just got to keep in line. Hey, remember what happened to that guy? Shit like that. I get threatened like that all the time. I just tell him I'll kill them, and I get a fucking charge of threatening. Just say it's comedic and entertainment purposes. What fucking white people did to me my whole fucking life. Anyway, Gavin Newsom, because he's Democrat. If we're being honest in politics, JD Vance looks like a way cooler fucking president. Like, he looks like a fucking, like, fascist, but, like, cool as fuck looking, right? Because you can totally imagine him getting angry at people, but he would, like, in his weird Republican sense, he wouldn't take it serious because he knew he won a long time ago. He has blue eyes and white skin, so it's kind of like a big toss-up between the guy who looks like a hardcore white Anglo-Saxon or Gavin Newsom, who might have dated a black person in high school. So it's going to be very interesting to
Unconscionable.
I gotta say it. I think Hassan's right. I do. I don't think that you should have the moral authority to tell someone that they're obligated to choose the lesser of two evils if they feel uncomfortable doing so. And I think that he has every right to make a basically be a conscientious objector to an election and choose not to vote for those lesser of two evils. I think the people that are angry at him are being unfair.
But
I don't think they're being unfair. I think you're just as a pussy as Hassan is. I think Asmongold and Hassan are playing the big pussy route. I think they both like subscribers and advertisers, and they don't want to fuck around with either or. I think they know who runs the party.
and I still stand on that. I still talk about it all the time because people constantly bring it up. They're like, you didn't sufficiently like promote Kamala Harris.
But like, there's also like, this is the other truth, right? The two people, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, would probably still be alive right now if Kamala Harris was the president. This is undeniable, and I think that you should acknowledge that whenever you say, if you're going to be making a print.
This is what I mean. Like, they're picking Kamala Harris because she's literally just like pro-cop. That's fucking insane. Asmongold liking Kamala Harris, 100% I was right. The right wing is fucking thriving. It's They got so lucky we found their fucking island. Otherwise, we'd be Sieg Heiling right now and saying, God, we hate Mexicans. I swear to God, we were this fucking close. That close. These motherfuckers. Kamala is an insane person that no one cares is insane because she can turn around and just take over the entire Democratic Party just purely off Latinos who are conservative and a bunch of black people who hate their own neighborhoods because none of them will stop gang violence, and then tell them they'll give them security with policing, they'll give them order by teaching them how to be a real man, and they'll push forward with like an exercise program with some jobs program and an educational scholarship program, and then you're just fucked because that's the liberal fucking solution to every single fucking neighborhood ever. You shut up all the black and brown people, and then all the white people continue to go, at least she kept the protest down. At least the crime went down, and their crime was the same. All the resources got scattered. There's like more fraud or something because someone figured out a loophole or something. Her mentality is that's continue the status quo. That's why I said like people like Kamala are always just the standard line, like the bottom floor of the Democrat Party, and you can just walk on them because they always move forward. The other ones are like prodigies getting pushed up, but sometimes they get their brains blown out, metaphorically or literally, by some weird espionage background hate-filled scheme to try and destroy your personal life. It's like the most disgusting system I've ever seen, because you know, if you look at Democrats as a whole, they have so much potential, but so many of them get thrown the fuck out just because they won't kiss ass or do the thing where it's just like, here's your white supremacist card where you're brown enough to where no one can call you a white supremacist, and then they hand it to you and you take it and you run, because if you don't get that card, you will forever be known as a communist, incompetent, and completely and utterly supported by terrorism, also known as people's tax-paying money. Whoa. There's no explanation other than the fact that they just despise anyone who fights for the people. They have people running up perfected to an algorithmic sense of how simple we all are as people, and we're just scared and want security. And that's it. They give us security. If we're hungry for food, we go, oh, guess what, EBT. Oh, we're housing. Oh, we're going to work on Section 8. We're going to work on affordable housing. We're going to get something going. Nothing gets going. We tried. It's like the we tried effort person, but in the meantime, while we put the you tried like poster up, there's this other poster where we're supposed to be pushing, which is actual action. This action has been withdrawn so far back that we hide the fact that we're not doing anything, right? But it's supposed to go forward and then forward, so at least we're moving forward like walking. But instead, we're pulling back and we're covering the fact that we're doing nothing. So what's the point of the status quo if it's just a lesser Republican Party? If you elect Gavin Newsom is just a Kamala. So if you elect a Kamala, you're electing a more progressive ideal because at least she's a woman, and according to statistics, you guys think she's incompetent, so we can teach her. I don't think she's incompetent. I think she's very fucking competent. I think Gavin Newsom's going to do a shittier job if we go off just the basis, because at least Kamala Harris knows the law. She knows law and order. What the fuck does Gavin Newsom know about law and order? He showed up with a podium at some fucking farms and shit. He's bourgeoisie as fuck. He just wants corporate support. So the concept again, it goes again like, you shouldn't choose between two options. Go the third route. That you would fail the Harvard question. Morality is not dictated whether you can imagine imaginary routes or not. It is the truth of whether you pick right or left in a route where people die or live. These people are naive. They're civilians. A leader, a true leader, does not wait for the third option. They make the choice, so when everyone blames that person, they're the ones who take the blame and not the whole train that's now a runaway train with no leader. They have to pick an option. Between JD Vance and Gavin Newsom, I have to pick Gavin Newsom. He's a Democrat. If he's not, then I'm picking JD. They have to be, by the way. I know the elections. Fuck you. But the concept is simple. JD Vance is a stereotypical average white guy. He will get up there purely off barely trying, and if he tried, he'd be embarrassed how easy it was. That's why he holds back, because he already has the support to win. They've read the book of the U.S. history, and so have black people, because black people haven't stopped complaining since they found out slavery never ended. So the concept is pretty simple. Gavin Newsom has to be supported, because at least we can control him, at least a little bit. JD Vance, fucking Nazi. Lucky if he listens to you, because you gotta be like a fucking savant. Like, you gotta be like a genius of geniuses to get to this guy's mind. Like, he looks at a brown person's eyes and he sees Planet of the Apes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he sees like the countries he conquers when he sends destroyers over there. He sees the people that when they come here, they should be grateful, right? But when Gavin Newsom's there, he's like, shit, this is my supporting vote. I gotta at least half-ass this shit. Because, wow, that's a lot of angry brown people. It is a racial issue. It really is. It's why the marginalized piece of people was the discussion. You got to protect the people that no one cares about. Gavin would probably have to care about them. He runs California. Let's just say that. He's in California. He does Californian shit. California is literally called Commifornia. So he's the closest to like a communist, like, what the fuck? Socialist Democrat? He's a fucking lib to me. Just loves money. JD Vance himself, again, kiosk guy. Fucking I think the House Speaker looks more of a fucking president than him, but they're trying to hype him up to be more of a serial killer, I think, because he probably told them they're breaking the law and called him a pussy. So a lot of people in the Republican Party terrify the fuck out of me. The leftists are, and they're not incompetent, they just won't kill people because they know killing people is like what they're not supposed to do. And that's pretty much it. Like, they govern the people with that mentality. Is fuck, dude.
Principled voting decision, there will be consequences for that. And in not choosing the lesser of two evils, sometimes you end up getting the greater of those two evils. Like and again, but am I wrong about this? You need long-term thinking. You do. But like, even if you, like, having long-term thinking doesn't remove your accountability. Like, both things are true. You should say, yes, they died, that's bad, or whatever, but this is still where my principles are. I think that trying to, assume that nothing else bad happened is unfair. You can't put those deaths because of that. Okay, I'm gonna pull you up. How many people would be dead because of illegal migrants? I understand that. Do you think that they would still be alive right now if Kamala Harris was the president? I want you to think for yourself. I want you to come to a conclusion by using your own mind. I want you to think for yourself right now.
I am going to think for myself. I think AOC would probably be better at keeping immigrants alive than fucking Kamala. I think Kamala herself would put fuck tons of money in ICE and then use ICE to fucking, like, kill targets who did not support her enough. Like, if you said she was an Uncle Tom, you'd get fucking cops outside your window with no body cams just ready to execute like Gestapo forces. Don't ask me how I know, but I got word. What a fucker.
Don't tell me what somebody else said. What do you think? And don't answer a different question. There's no way to tell. Just like others might be dead because she's not. No. You didn't answer. So there's no way to tell. So was Kamala Harris going to use ICE to go around and remove and deport illegal aliens? Was she going to do that the same way Trump did in Minnesota? Bro, voting doesn't matter. I don't understand why people out around the world are obsessed with this bullshit. I mean, yeah, you absolutely should vote. Don't ever think that voting doesn't matter. Like, two things are true. You should never be pressured into voting if you don't feel comfortable voting for a candidate. And also, voting does matter, and you should always vote if you choose to vote.
Yes, always vote. Register to vote. Your vote matters. Always remember that. Even though you're educated in political science, don't try to let it bring you down. Vote Democrat every fucking time. That's my advice. Because you literally can't fucking survive on the Republican side if you're a marginalized group. It's like jumping into a vat of acid, even though they fucking tell you themselves, like, you're not supposed to be here. If you're gonna be on the right wing, you have to be like stupid rich or like fucking really good at getting people money and showing you're accredited or some shit. It's like some fucking rich asshole fucking spiel shit.
Both things are true. No, I mean, like, the argument makes no sense, just like other Americans could have died because of the illegals they let in. Exactly. So there are acceptable casualties, and there are consequences that lead to people dying by making decisions for not voting for the lesser of two evils. This is an objective reality. It is, and you're right, it's a wash, right? Sometimes people get killed in one way, sometimes they get killed in another way. But to act like that's not what's happening is not true. All I want is for people to be honest. Just be honest. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for a lot, am I? I think I'm being pretty reasonable. Yeah, pointless to make because she wasn't elected. Well, what I'm saying is that, no. Here's what my point is that there are tangible negative effects Trump has made towards liberal agendas. And Hassan and the people like him who chose not to vote for Kamala Harris on a principled decision basis, based off of how she treated Gaza or how she looked at, for example, ICE or anything else, their decision and their unwillingness to vote for that lesser of two evils has caused people and has eroded the values of the things that they support. Now, you can say that look at the bigger picture, and I would even agree with you, but in the short term, that has happened, and it's undeniable that that's happened. But I just don't think that's the reason why you should pressure him into doing it. Every decision has consequences.
This is what I mean. When he said you should have voted Kamala, so at least the basics move forward, that's literally status quo. That's why these guys always get mad when you don't vote for the candidate that's mostly just a right-winger Democrat, because they really just want people like Joe Biden over and over again rinsed out. So Trump technically got his third term already. He went 2 terms, and then the third one said nothing's going to fundamentally change in between the 2 terms of Trump, which means they're going to continue Trump's ideology. So now they're trying to continue Trump's ideology through Kamala. And that you can tell that because of Trump voters, which you can see here, just want to go back to the Trump ideology, which is policing, anti-immigration, making sure it's more comfortable. But Kamala's like a Democrat, so you're supposed to be like soft and sensitive. It's supposed to be more professional. It's like stuff like that. They always think that the left is going to be like AOC screaming like order number 30 or something because they think she's still in the diner fucking 20, 30 fucking years ago. And they swear that the experience hasn't grown since then. So the entire dynamic is difficult because you have 2 accredited women and some dickhead guy that's like bourgeoisie as fuck, so if he jumps in he's just taking everything. But you have Kamala Harris, who's like the DA. She just fucking goes hardcore police, hardcore anti-immigration, is pretty much a fucking Republican. Gavin Newsom goes fucking hardcore tax breaks, hardcore affordability. No, we're not gonna let communism take over, fuck those guys. And then AOC says no, also fuck communists, but we're not gonna go super hardcore right-wing, and this is actually probably what you thought the Democrat Party was. So if you want to start something that's like more logical and reasonable, it's probably AOC's concept of budgeting, making sure the money goes to the right place, the gas fucking brake pedal bullshit. And then you have Kamala Harris's entire dynamic of just continuing the Republican Party's quotas. And then Gavin Newsom, who can just pretty much win whenever the fuck he wants if he just gets the donor support and smiles at the right people. So it's kind of unfair. You got the basic Gavin Newsom. We expected him to win. You got the Kamala Harris. Now she should win. And then you got AOC, which we hope she disappears sometimes, and we're worried what she does in her free time. Like, is she starting a fucking armada? Is she gonna show up by the shores with destroyers and shit? Be like, free my people? Like, I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but the candidates I see running up so far look pretty solid. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do for the next 2 years. We got like 2 years left for the election. It's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait because I'm going to talk so much shit. God, I fucking love this.
To pretend like it doesn't is a lie.
Efficiently, like, promote Kamala Harris. You're the reason why she lost. And I'm like, I am incapable. There is no singular force in this country that is capable of making or breaking an election. And if that was real, then it is the most idiotic thing not to listen to my demands. But everybody knows that that's not real, right? If I had this singular force to be able to make Kamala Harris the president, then Kamala Harris should be coming to me every day.
I think it's undeniable that people that are trying to push for a third party, like, yeah, obviously they do hold a sway in the election, depending on what happens, for sure.
And being like, let me do a collab with you, please.
Totally.
Right? That's not the case, of course, and they know it. That's why they didn't do it. But the campaigns are always responsible for whether or not they are able to win the crowds, win the population over, and you know, combat against the couch. Not necessarily even against the Republican Party, but usually you're fighting against the couch, people who just don't go out and vote.
Yeah, he's right.
And for me, the way I see it is if the Democratic establishment makes this decision one more time, just as they did with Hillary Clinton, just as they did with Kamala Harris, and in some ways just as they did with Joe Biden as well.
I think that's one of the reasons why Hillary Clinton didn't win. It's because they obviously, like, they roached out on Bernie. I think that if they had given Bernie an honest shot and the voters for Bernie felt like he was treated properly, I bet Hillary Clinton might have won the election. And the reason why is because at least they wouldn't have been disrespected and lied to and manipulated. But whenever you take and you sideline your most passionate group of people who care the most about your ideals, Bernie was a liar? Okay, well, if he's a liar, then what does that make Hillary Clinton? Yeah, so if you sideline those people, you demotivate them to go out and vote for you. You do. Third parties have trouble, though? Well, I know that, but like inside of swing states and certain different districts, they do make a difference and an impact. And you can see that with the votes for Jill Stein in 2024, for example. It's true.
Which led to Trump, too. Then they just don't care. And there's not much I can do.
Let me
beyond
tell you
that.
something. Yeah. I agree with everything you say, but as a person who lived in a red state for 50 years, I would crawl through 10 feet of concrete to vote for Gavin Newsom, even though I think he's duplicitous, a hypocrite, a thirst trap, hungry for power, all of the things.
I fucking see the white women always tell you the truth. They tell you the truth. She went down the list of why you should never elect a person and said, I don't care. White man syndrome. White man syndrome.
You say, and harms the Democratic Party and sets the psychological soil to be more prey to fascism. All of that I agree with. But there are so many young, queer, black, brown, marginalized people in red states. And even though this corporate Democrat is, you see it in a long-term game. In the short-term game, a President Newsom over a President J.D. Vance.
Yep, there it is. It's emotional. I mean, again, like, she a retard? Here's my opinion. I think these are two philosophical decisions, and neither of them are wrong. That's generally what my viewpoint is. I don't think either one of them are wrong, and anybody who's trying to assert that their viewpoint is like you can't criticize it, you can't talk about it, you can't fight against it, I think they're full of shit. I think the fact is that it's totally valid what she's saying, and it's totally valid what Hassan is saying. You should never expect somebody to vote for the lesser of two evils. You should never think that you have the moral authority to say you should vote for something and you have to vote for something, and you're morally obligated to vote for my candidate because even though it doesn't fulfill your principles, it's closer to what I think your principles are than this other person, so you're now obligated to take my side. It's unfair. It's completely unfair. Oh, he replied, "You're in a sex cult led by a pedophile streamer."
Hassan's shit talking is fire as fuck.
What?
Fucking Asmongold's response, dude. This is why he just like shocks them. Like the way they go into his chat and say stupid shit. It's like that right there. I knew that shit would hit one day. Because that hurts every celebrity's head. As soon as you say you're in a sex cult led by a pedophile streamer. Because that's either half their friend group or an allegation they faced at one point.
What the fuck does that even mean? Destiny? What the fuck does this have to do with destiny?
He said, notice how you went back to the left, even though all the right wingers are accused of that shit. You went Destiny. He's still the right wing left. Right wingers, dude.
But
I'm disappointed.
Man, Holy fuck. OP is a Destiny fan? After all this, Republicans don't complain about anything Democrat does ever again. Future MAGA prison camp guard. I mean, I don't know. This is just some liberal, right? I mean, who cares? Like, yeah, the day he goes Republican, you will too. Oh, the day Destiny goes Republican, you didn't care when
Yo, this guy's fucking deflecting hard. I'm worried for him.
he boosted Sam Hyde, Nick Fuentes, or Warren Southern. It's Destiny. Yeah, don't talk to me about obeying in advance. Vote blue no matter who got us in this mess. Jeez.
Voting blue no matter who got us in this mess? True. False, but in certain contexts, the only reason why you'd vote third party is to throw your vote away. So if you're going to vote for like a Republican party, you strengthen them. If you vote third party, you throw your vote away, but you let them know numerically how many people are off the couch. So it gives them a statistic of people they could have swapped over and stuff like that. I understand that perspective, but I do also believe that the entire ideology is going to be pushed toward a direction of, how do you say, you just can't keep throwing the vote away. You know what I mean? It's a psychological game of talking to as many people as possible and adhering to their viewpoints. But going to the third party isn't going to cause a huge change, I believe. It's you're gonna have to hit a sort of solution of all solutions, because a lot of these people are just playing political theater and not everyone has enough time to learn or educate themselves. They're busy working, busy talking to their friends and having a life or doing something fun or productive. A lot of people who are into politics really do have this image that this is their obligation. This is something you do as a grown adult. You're grown, you're past your job, your bills, you're figuring life out. The couch sitters that you're trying to get active don't care because everything looks the same, right? You start a new candidate, you get a new wild candidate. They call them fascist and terroristic and awful and a white supremacist, but your viewpoint stays the same from your place. It's like relativity, right? It's like the Andromeda paradox. You see the world from different perspectives depending on where you're at. Some people move faster, right? White people, privileged. Some people see it different because they're standing still. Right? Simple. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about that.
Jesus. Man, wow. They're cannibalizing each other. Well, really, I mean, I think this is the problem, is that I think leftists know, or like liberals know, that the hardline leftists like Hassan have consolidated enough influence and power that if they try to work against a liberal establishment candidate, they will probably contribute to that candidate not winning the election. I think this is generally true, actually. And they've grown to be very influential. And there's a lot of them that are out there. Now, I'm not saying that it's a huge amount, but even if it's 5%, 5% can swing an election. So you can say, oh, wow, it's not that many numerically or like comparatively. But, you know, for how many there are, it can cause the difference in between, you know, a 51-50 toss-up, right? So what I think's happening is that they're angry that they can't ideologically browbeat these remaining 5% of people into voting the party line. And that's fundamentally what it is. They want to browbeat, virtue signal, and demonize anybody who refuses to vote the party line. And the fact is that a lot of people are actually in agreement against this. Like, we're doing the same shit with Biden, political strategy. You guys never learn. It's good. Even if you intend to vote for Biden, you should not say it and use the leverage in order to push for more concessions. I mean, again, I think that can possibly be true. I didn't know that. You told me this for the first time. What is this?
It's definitely the second best
So
option.
if Joe Biden got the nomination and is running against President Trump, you would not vote for him?
I don't know. I've honestly considered moving up into the mountains and living an anarcho-primitivist lifestyle if Joe Biden becomes the Democratic nominee.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? And reducing government marginalized community, a single hypothetical vote, misunderstands how political engagement works. What is this here? The premise here is political morality is measured exclusively at the voting booth. Well, I mean, it is. I mean, you either make the decision or you don't. It's not that complicated. If you don't vote for the performative lib who started last year agreeing with Charlie Kirk about trans women, then you hate marginalized groups. I mean, if you choose the greater of, if you don't choose the lesser of two evils and then the greater of two evils prevails, you do have a responsibility to that because you made a choice. Not choosing is a choice. You decide. Now, you can say that you're not going to do that, but don't go and say that you're perfect for it, right? This is what's so insane to me. Why are people, what is this all about? Yeah, it's a trolley problem. So just make the decision. If you think that it's better long-term to have more people suffer because then that will push your ideology, then just say that. And the problem with a lot of these leftist people is that they do not say what they actually believe. The fact is that they want things. This is the ideology that they have.
Okay, I gotta say, him talking about people who disagree with you and getting pushed out on the Democrat side is the entire point of not wanting bigots on your side. You have a bigot who will turn an entire organization or an ideology into something that slowly rots and degrades into moral hatred for something where you're just trying to spread unity, community, and a discussion of people like their hobbies and getting to know one each other, maybe getting to grow a life, into something that becomes such a hardcore fascistic understanding of our elite understanding of morality through this perception of cultural dominance. And this cultural dominance comes from like intergenerational colonial superpowers just conquering and killing anyone who is lacking of any swords, guns, bombs, or any sort of a position like food or water resources in the area to keep your fight up because now you're out of energy and tired, like when white men hunted the buffalo to starve Native Americans. The majority of this is just some big dog whistling. A lot of people, like for example, trans women, they are very, very, very oppressed in every margin. Trans women, trans men, all gay people right now are like in scopes for these fascist snipers. Like that Auschwitz video where the guy's like working out, waking up, and he takes a sniper and just shoots a random Jewish person inside of the concentration camp. That's pretty much Republican politics. You see a transsexual get into a boxing match and you pretty much shoot him with the sniper. You're pow, and then you tell him you don't deserve shit. And then all the Republicans go, time to lynch. And then all the leftists go, shit, here we go again. The problem with this is a lot of people think it's performative liberalism, but a lot of these gradients out of white supremacy, like Gavin Newsom, are still technically the guys that aren't that bad because they didn't build the camp. Does that make sense? The person who builds the camp is the one that kills the most because they contained all the people there so the sniper can take the shot. It's just something to think about.
They want things to get worse, so that way people are radicalized enough to vote for a candidate that they agree with. That's what their goal is. Just say that. And it's not insane to say, but it's really not. I think it's reasonable. You're American, so vote, but you are responsible. Yeah, they always invoke the marginalized people argument, but they never say what the fuck that means or in what way they're impacted. How are they impacted? Well, I'll give you some examples, right? So Donald Trump has gone on a number of things that have damaged trans people's ability to do certain things. Like, I think the best example that I can use is in the military. He kicked all the trans people out of the military. That's obviously something that if you're trans, you're probably going to be against. Even if you think that, they shouldn't be in the military, this was very clearly something that trans people were able to do that Donald Trump took away. He took it away. So I think that it's undeniable that's the case. Same thing with trans and sports. Now, I know it's a 90-10 issue, but there are the 10. And so whenever that 10% sees that, that is a reduction in the amount of things that trans people can do. Did he really kick them out or stop paying for it? They kicked them out. Yeah, they literally kicked them out. Like they said, they're getting rid of them. Hassan wants Republicans in office because he gets to cosplay as a revolutionary, which raises his profile and makes him more money. That's what he cares about. I mean, I do think that it works better as an outsider, like his perspective, definitely. But, again, like it's hard really to say. But a lot of people are very angry about this, too. His perspective.
Hassan wants Republicans in office because he gets to cosplay a revolutionary, which raises his profile and makes him more money. That's what he cares about. Okay, replace Hassan with Fox. Replace Republicans. Wait. No, yeah, let's keep that. Fox wants Republicans in office because they get to cosplay a revolution which raises their views and profile and makes them more money. That's what they care about. Yo, I think some of these guys self-snitch sometimes. Just pay attention.
Definitely. But, again, like it's hard really to say. But a lot of people are very angry about this, too. I even see that, where is it here? How many times are we going to run this back? 2026 election. That's right. And country is an insane asylum. But what do you mean? You're already demanding people swear to vote for some corporate shithead almost 3 years from now? Well, it's because they think that the corporate shithead is going to be better than the other corporate shithead. Like, I mean, I don't know why. Like, why is this such a, like, why are there so many layers of dishonesty here? It's unbelievable to me that nobody just wants to talk about this. Like, they're just lying. They're just like, they're misrepresenting this on purpose. Why would you do this? No clue I feel at trans and military, only because I thought they need constant medication. I'm not a doctor. I don't understand it. I think they should do whatever the medical professionals think they should do. If they think that trans people are, you know, like they harm military readiness, then they shouldn't be in the military. If they think that it's a wash and it doesn't matter, then they should be in, right? It's pretty fucking simple to me. I think that the military, whenever you're putting people's lives at risk, you have to go a little bit beyond identity politics, right? Identity politics take a backseat to like life and death. That's my opinion. It has to do with mentally fitness, yeah, but I'm not an expert in that. I don't really know, but that's the way that I would make the decision. Leftists are now telling you 2 years before the primary they will not vote for Gavin Newsom if he's the nominee. You have 2 years to find someone else. Yeah, so they won't.
Damn, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. This whole dynamic of picking a male Democrat party leader is insane. 2 years to pick one. They're literally, leftists are telling you 2 years before the primary that we won't leftist. It's literally just hustle. Oh no, dude. We have no one on the left. We need a lot more people out here. Oh no. I just can't. I stand by what I said. Gavin is just such a white person. There's no way he's not gonna just fucking roll with this shit if he actually tried.
Vote for that person either, right? I mean, that's not necessarily a guarantee. I think it's a good thing to not preemptively swear your vote for Gavin Newsom before he's the candidate. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's totally valid to say that I'm going to vote for anybody who's not Trump. I think that's totally valid. If you don't like Trump, that's completely okay for you to say that.
I don't think Asmongold knows that Trump can't run another term. I think he's actually depending on the third because of what Hassan said. But him saying everyone's going to vote for anyone but Trump is kind of like saying it's just going to be a normal election. Just, if you got a wall up, break that wall. He just said it's going to be a regular election. He's trying to do the same thing a lot of Democrats do. It's like, oh, Trump. Pay attention.
Totally fine for you to say that. I think you can't just offload that to medical professionals. The same people that said that transing 8-year-olds was good. Well, you have to have the right professionals doing it. I mean, you're always going to have nutballs that say that stuff, but that's not something that I would always listen to. I knew a trans girl was in the military and she was in the medical leave for half a year and couldn't do deployment or any work during that time. Yeah, well, if that's the case for too many of them, then you shouldn't have them in there, right? It's pretty fucking simple. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it's a very, very simple decision to make. But yeah, there's a lot of people very angry at Hassan because he won't automatically say the party line. And I think that, again, this is a totally valid opinion to have. And anybody trying to push him to do that or just simply trying to co-opt his platform to make him say what they want. And I think that wanting to vote third party or abstaining and being a conscientious objector to a two-party system that you think doesn't represent you is a completely valid opinion to have, and it doesn't make you any less of a political activist or a political extremist or anything like that to have that viewpoint. And I also think that the opposite is true too. But I think that the issue is you can't push somebody else's values on, your values on somebody else.
You vote for J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom?
Well, I'd have to vote for Gavin Newsom.
Me
of course,
too.
100%.
I wouldn't blink. What about you, Hassan?
See, I'm not. Fuck, I can't say it. But of course, Austin would pick Gavin.
I'd probably vote third party.
You would?
He's gonna get mad.
I just, fuck him, dude. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Opposition.
A bald dude saying Hassan's opposition dumb as shit, considering Hassan's literally fucking pushed the entire left this whole fucking time. A lot of these guys who are leftists on the smaller channels in the smaller areas, they're like barely fucking significant, which fucking sucks because that's me. Don't care. The concept is still the same. He is controlled opposition, but you know what else is? The hegemony that makes you all think you're smart. That's fucked.
Opposition. Political opposition. Not on the team, guys. He is not on the team. He is indifferent to Republicans having power. And all of the people...
You are also indifferent to Republicans having power because all your commentary is from a white man's perspective. He is telling you to your face you're all white, and saying marginalized groups are not cared about at all is proof by all you white people only giving a fuck because a white man said something. Because white Hassan said something you care. If that was a black person, it'd be sub 1,000 views. Right? So him saying he's going third party is not offensive. It's just that a lot of you think he's like your messiah for white people because he's the only one that can actually talk to black people without getting accused of racism or not understanding their perspective. And he sometimes puts them on their stream, whereas all the other white people just kind of sit there and hope that one day they're heard by them, because a lot of marginalized groups are usually black, BLM, thrown away, no one cares. Latinos, same thing, no one cares. Deported, thrown into border concentration camps. But the concept is still the same when it comes to electing someone to truly change something. You're either electing a cop like Kamala, which they say traitor to, but a couple months ago, to like a year maybe, or a year plus probably, right? They're saying she was jailing black people and she was against all of us, right? It's like the concept is not, it's not sensible, because a lot of these people feel like they're being betrayed because their white narratives are not being fulfilled because they don't have someone that can just put a mask on, and that mask is just like pretending they like white people. And then as they pretend to like white people, they push your agenda, and you just pretend like you don't know that they hate you, and you think that's progressive values. That's not progressive values. The point of what that Hassan was making is that if you don't want change, and you don't want to really change anything, just keep voting DNC, because DNC just keeps up status quo. If you want to go third party, they might start a little spicy stuff, because that's where the people again go, where they're sick of the DNCs, they're sick of the Republican Party. They're forming a sort of impromptu party. And so the third party's growing. It's not there yet. It doesn't have its own manifesto, right? People think the left is like liberalism and the right is just like republicanism, but really it's like imperialist fucking fascist ideology, and then the left is like imperialist fascist ideology but pretends to care about the people that are the poorest of the society, and then they just continue perpetually like that. Third party is just pretty much all of you saying it should disintegrate because its entire existence is just tiny and small compared to the DNC. And it's the same as saying I'm going to Walmart because at least Walmart has what I want, but I'm not going to go to this small business because the small business thinks it can compete, and it's wasting our space. It's wasting our commerce, and it's wasting our taxes. For the most part, if all of you are already on the DNC for being white, liberal, and rich, then realistically Hassan will just need to go to the place where none of you are at and then populate it. It's not that fucking difficult to understand. He's like a seeder of ideology. You take them and you throw them somewhere, people follow. The ones that don't follow are still in the DNC because that's where a lot of rich liberals go that want to stay rich in the higher class liberal societies. You cannot physically betray the Democrat Party unless you go Republican, but then you go Republican and then the entire Republican sphere kicks you out back to the DNC. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're actually morally righteous, you know that Republicans are just doing that shit for money, and you're like a guest there. If you're dumb, you'll try to stay, and that's why they laugh at them sometimes and mock them and make them do hazing rituals, because wow, you're fucking stupid. The left is like this huge gang of immigrants pretty much, and mixed in with white people that realize this is what America was supposed to look like, but they're scared of all the white people who own all the money and guns. So you have the America, that's the left Democrat Party. It's technically split up into two parties if you really look at it honestly. You have the Kamala representatives, which is like Kamala is like the more right wing of society. It's just more sane than the Republican Party. And then the left wing is probably like Bernie Sanders, AOC type of people. Those type of people are probably like a real leftist Democrat Party. And then in anything that forms further than Bernie and an AOC is probably me on a watch list. So once you start to understand that gradients, anything further past Kamala Harris probably tries to assassinate people like me and pushes for a lot of cash. Cash. They do neoliberalism, and they call over the left wing to do it here in America, to do it in the sense of we send your colored people to kill your colored people. It's colonialism, but neoliberalism's hyped up with colorism. What the fuck is colorism? Fuck it. The point is that if you want a real party, you got to vote left. But if you want a party beyond the left, that's actually the real left in America, because you always suspected the DNC always needed to change who they are, where they want to be, but they never do, then you need to create a new party, since a lot of parties out here in America have like, not America, sorry. I think the whole world's America because I'm fucking retarded. I'm simple. Gotta edit that one. I'm a simple person. So a majority of parties across the world have huge amounts of different parties. Our governments have a bunch of different parties inside of them. And in America, we only have two that's extremely polarized and has essentially been taken over. And so there's not really any more than just one party. And that one party needs to be divided. And that's the Republican gradient into imperial colonialism. But the problem is they're winning through the measure of where the left is winning through culture, not through the podcast bros or the YouTubers, but like by huge AAA movies, which is why you have Ted Cruz complaining on the fucking fucking Netflix and shit, because their viewpoints and their actual like established people do pretty good. They don't need that like trashy, low quality ghetto people doing podcasts, trying to buy the new microphone and then like bragging about 100K a year because they finally got a couple viewers going. It's like, they don't need that. They need those guys like scientifically analyzing trends so they can create that next big hit movie, and that next big hit movie is going to get like up 20-30 million people, just, and they paid for the propaganda. They paid to be convinced. They paid to go, wow, that's a good artistic idea. This is like the most advanced way of changing people's minds, which is why so many Hollywood movies love the story of like the slave breaking out of slavery into winning, or the person who made it out from the bottom to the top. I came from the bottom, now I'm here type stuff. You know, they like the rappers that come from the bottom from nowhere. They like the white guy like Ferrari or Lamborghini that started after tractors in the farms, and then they came out and then came like super rich. They like all that story telling. So if you want real propaganda that actually gets people to the left, you just show them that you can succeed in somewhere that's pretty cool to inspire your imagination, pioneering and innovation and all that engineering shit. And then suddenly you have a whole new populace of people you swore you never knew before, and they're just adding tons of cash to the society. The people on the right wing are always podcast bros. It's always just white people. The internet is heavily populated by white people because they're the only ones who consistently just use it for their propaganda. This is why it's always racist if you create a GPT off the internet, because the people will always have a majority racist white supremacist perspective. It's why a lot of the beginning of AI being developed had to censor and filter a lot of the white supremacy, because a lot of the AI itself developed a lot of white supremacist connotations. A lot of this stuff that happens here in America is the same way. A lot of your very basic thinking and critical thinking patterns on YouTube is an algorithm. That algorithm gets chosen to whatever is the most appealing. The most appealing ideology is always going to be the majority. The majority is logic. The majority is always right. The majority is logically right. What a coincidence. The majority is logically right-wing and right to correct scientific analysis, which is very offensive through Darwinistic principles of strongest will survive. And so they throw away all the weak people, which happens to coincidentally be all the third world people that come from third worlds, have cultures that come from there that are beautiful and wonderful, but get insulted by getting called third worlder or getting thought lesser or subhuman or, you know, invader species or illegal human or, you know, whatever term they can come up with. And they essentially try to devalue their entire involvement. So I think the entire established ideology is that you cannot turn against the DNC without just turning further left, which is independent, because independent's the only thing we have. If you say you're going communist, that's like a New York guy's flag, and that's it, maximum. He doesn't have shit yet. He has to get like tons of support, push tons of more like door knocking and flyers. Like that guy's barely there. So third party is pretty much the best you're gonna get, because there's still like multimillionaires there funding it, pushing the idea. I think going third party is just trying to hopefully insinuate a whole new party, a whole new idea, a whole new world's perspective, and really hoping that someone will go there and just really start to inspire people in the third party. Because I believe that's where the Bernie Sanders are. That's where the AOCs usually try to head toward or alliance with. That's where the people like podcasters associated with them and did interviews with them are at. Everyone who sort of associates with a similar ideology of hardcore leftism usually goes into the independent, because the independent is sort of like a connotation. I know that it has its own story. I don't care about its story. The point is you're thinking for yourself. Let's just do that. Independence. You're thinking for yourself as an independent party. You're leading yourself. You're guiding yourself. There's no such thing as this God. You may be an atheist, and if there is a God, your God is explained as your leader, your therapy, your idea, and is protected through liberty. And then you push forward with this independence with your religion, your idea, your culture, and who you are, and you get supported as a human being, which is your basic infrastructure rights like housing, education, future of food and sampling, and maybe kids' education gets advanced, but daycares, anything you can, supplies that are given out. I think AOC and Bernie did a handout for backpacks and stuff, and like journalists and journals and stuff. Things like that is more like infrastructure plus actual caring for who you are as a person, your independence as a human being. It acknowledges that some of you guys come over in tribes, and therefore you come over like swaths of people, and that's fine. You're just going to grow at your pace. It's going to continue onward for generations, because this is the mentality of the independent, or the people that are constantly trying to build independence. Sometimes you call it juche, which is self-reliance. In the right-wing side, they call it conservatism or Darwinism, because they throw away the weak people and they think they're superior and strong for being born next to resources and a person who tells them exactly how to screw someone over through capitalism. That's the game. You can read about it in China, Volume 2, when it discusses combining rural areas with local municipalities. You can talk about it there, where they both start to collide in onto each other. In the center of it, it sort of folds in onto the poverty people, which is the civilian base.
People that are harmed by that happening. He is opposition, okay?
Yep.
In no uncertain terms. This is nuts. This is a fucking bananas thing to say a year into this administration.
Yep.
2 dead people in fucking Minnesota. Minnesota, wow.
Minnesota.
How many?
It's called Snowgadishu.
How many people did we send to fucking like a torture prison in Seacott? Did we?
Not enough. Should have been more. Should have been a lot more.
Didn't we send possibly
He's obviously joking. There's no way.
like American citizens there on accident?
Can't win them all.
The mass deportation program, ICE
This is what I mean. Asmongold's such a dickhead when it comes to like a leftist complaint. He sees a bald man complaining on the left, and he sees prey. You know, and his fangs come out. He's like, oh, this guy's weak. Oh, I could piss this one off. You know what I'm saying?
Terrorizing civilians, millions dead, USAID cuts, 11
W, huge W.
week blockade of aid going into Gaza, which very nearly caused a mass starvation event.
I have no idea about that.
Very close to being officially designated a famine.
Surely Hamas had nothing to do with that.
Dismantling the Department of Education.
Thank God. Thank God. Kids are retarded nowadays. Obviously, it doesn't work.
Blowing up fucking fishermen in Venezuela.
Rip Bozo. Shouldn't have been selling drugs. Shouldn't have been running drugs around. There's a
He's such an asshole. Yeah, cut the education. Kids are fucking dumb already. Bomb Venezuelans because they're fucking like shouldn't have been drunk. He's such a fucking asshole, dude.
fishing submarine. Now it's dead. Too bad. Shouldn't have done it.
Invading Venezuela, deposing a
Got him, bitch. You got nabbed. Now you're in a box. We win. Now we got your oil. W.
leader.
This guy's a credit repo, man. This guy's gonna come after me. Oh shit! I owe payments.
I guess we're doing
That's
regime
right.
change again, just very blatantly and openly at this point.
Of course we are. We spend $1 trillion. Dude, we spend $1 trillion on the military. Fucking nothing. Dude, spending all this fucking money on the military just to not do anything. We spent $1 trillion. We can't even go get this piece of shit. What do you mean by that?
There's like fucking dozens of other just really awful, damaging things that he's done as president. And like,
sounds like a list of W's
after this,
to me.
you're like, nah, I don't know if I would vote third party. Fuck you, bro. This guy, man.
There's a lot of people out there. Here's the truth too, is that they can always virtue signal about how it's not a big deal. It's not a bad thing to vote third party. Or sorry, it is. It's a good thing to do that, but they never have to live with the consequences of it. That's another big point. Like Hutch is right to an extent, right? Is that like, yeah, a lot of things, again, like if you're a liberal, like you're probably very upset about it, but none of these people have to do that at all.
God, I love this shit. God, should we cover 3 hours of Epstein files? Fuck no.
It's not a big deal.
Let's see. Hutch calls out Hassan for saying he would vote third party in a potential Newsom versus Vance 2028 matchup. I think Newsom being friends with Charlie Kirk probably fucked that up for Hassan. I think a lot of people don't really like the Charlie Kirk association. Pretty personally, I don't care. Dude's dead. So he gone. All right. I mean, like Asmongold said, Rip Bozo, right? Except our fucking Rip Bozo is probably Charlie getting that Kool-Aid poured out. But you know what I'm saying. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. You won't die to it. That's just science. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. Fucking white people will pretend to throw people like this under the bus. But I promise you, if Austin and Hassan were black, this video never would have been made.